Hello and welcome to episode 80 of Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are drowning in the details of life to create simple systems so we can do what matters most. Today we are taking a deep dive into actually completing current projects and next actions. If you've been with us for a while, you've heard me talking about how project list and next actions list actually help us to be able to move forward in our lives. I cannot tell you how these simple concepts build an incredible foundation for a life that feels calm and peaceful, where you have momentum, where you're moving towards your goals, where you don't feel overwhelmed at the end of the day. And I really am excited to be able to share these 3 lessons we put together. So I'm just going to go through lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and give you little assignments at the ends of each. You can pause the podcast and you can go through and complete the lessons, or you can come to our show notes page and download a PDF written version of this podcast that has the assignments in there, okay? So come to our show notes at learndobecome.com/episode 80, and you can download the written version, get your assignments, and just move forward and feel so awesome. Just a quick personal story. We had some friends over the other night, and they kind of knew what we did. They knew we had a podcast, but didn't really know what we were creating here at Learn to Become, or about our free class that we have, or what a Step Command Central was. So I was telling them how we help people to actually build a system, our Steps to Everyday Productivity Program, STEP. We build what we call a command central that helps you to be able to keep track of all of those things, all the stuff, all your tasks, all the thoughts that are swirling around your head, all the papers your kids bring home, or the things that you get from work. Most people are overwhelmed. And as I was talking about it, I just explained, I struggled with this. I was overwhelmed all the time. But when I learned how to create this command central, it changed my life, and now we've helped thousands, tens of thousands of people to do the same. I know 100%. If I go into someone's home and they're feeling overwhelmed, I know if we spent about 15 to 20 hours together building their Step Command Central, I know they could be out of the overwhelm, 100%. I've done this for 10 years, taught it, helped people, watched it happen. I am so excited about the work that we're doing. So as you're listening to these lessons, I'm not putting this together just because I'm trying to come up with something random to put on a podcast. These are lessons that we've written out, put together thoughtfully. We've seen people implement this. We know this works. And if you're in a place right now where you're thinking, I have so much going on, I don't even know how to get anything done, my life is just messy, or my brain feels messy, I just don't even know where to start. It's too much. If that's where you are right now, we can help you to get out of that. And the lessons we're going to cover today are going to be game-changing. Are you so excited? Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. Lesson number 1. In the popular story, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, we read about a little mouse who jumps from activity to activity all day long. It's humorous to read, but sometimes it hits a little close to home when we think about how we sometimes do the exact same thing. For example, you open your computer to type 2 specific emails, but then you see a message from a friend reminding you to order tickets for a group event this weekend, so you click the link to order those tickets before they sell out. Then you realize you didn't clear the date with your spouse, so you go to send a quick text message. When you open your phone, you see a notification from a client who needs to talk with you this afternoon. So you open your calendar to see if you're available, but you realize you actually have a different appointment starting in 10 minutes that totally slipped your mind. You jump up from your computer, never actually sending those 2 emails you intended to send, and you spend the rest of the day putting out fires, hoping there won't be new ones tomorrow, but you know there probably will be. This scenario plays out uniquely in each of our lives, but we don't have to live this way. There is a better option. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you simple strategies to get your life in order so you never have to be in firefighting mode ever again. And if you want this to make a difference in your life, please do not just fast forward this or close up the podcast. You know what's going to happen if you think, oh, I'll come back to this later. It's not going to happen. We want you to do this. 10 minutes, you can get this one lesson done, okay? I've created these lessons in a way that will encourage you to work together with a spouse or another family member, and you will feel incredible by the time you've completed the simple assignments we prepared at the end of each lesson. Okay, ready to go? So we're going to talk about the current projects list first. Now, you might be tempted to skip this part and say, well, I know what I need to do. I know what my project is. But do you really? Are you bouncing from one project to the next and never actually getting anything past the finish line? Do you have right now a short, focused list of no more than 7 or 8 current projects that you are actually working on this month? And if I asked you to show me that current projects list, could you do so? Now, here's what you need to know about a current projects list. A project is a multi-step task that has a beginning and an end. So a project is not a routine, like doing laundry or running your business. Instead, it's something like organize the laundry room or create my company logo and colors. So beginning and an end. Those things that I mentioned actually have an end. You could say the laundry room is organized right now, or I have now created my company logo and my colors. Okay. Now, current in the current projects means that you're actually working on it this month. And we recommend you have no more than 7 or 8 projects for the month. If you right now have 163 projects written on your list and you are genuinely working on all 163, that's up to you. But chances are that those extra 155, 156 projects are only stressing you out. And that's why you're snapping at your family members and getting a headache when you look at your list. That's why your stomach hurts when you're trying to get your kids to bed. Your mind wants to be responsible, trustworthy, and productive. But every single day, when you think about that big, long list that is not getting checked off, your mind says, you're failing. It's not true. You just have too many items on your list. See, aren't you breathing better already? Just knowing that. Okay, next. Your current projects list includes projects for yourself, for your family, and for other activities beyond the home. Projects for yourself can include things like play 3 songs on the guitar, or establish a new exercise routine, or something like, I'm going to go through this new program and build a step command central. Projects for your family can include things like, I'm going to organize a specific room in the house, or I'm going to plan a family vacation. And projects for activities beyond the home include things for work or volunteer positions. Maybe something like, I'm going to coordinate with Brenda about the December employee event. Okay. So I have in the PDF that you can download on our show notes page an example of a current projects list that I created at one point. So under me, it says, complete the text of the book I'm writing for my mom and establish a daily routine with more downtime. Establishing a routine is a project, and then the routine itself is just the routine, okay, that supports that. Under my family section, it says, downstairs decluttered, and I put in parentheses, front closet, comma, kitchen, okay, so those are the 2 areas I was going to declutter. And then I said, set up the kids' accounts on YNAB. You need a budget. In the Beyond category, I had 4 projects. Add more recipes and grocery tips to a family's program I'd put together. Create a podcast schedule for the next 2 months. Complete the STEP program materials and update an email series. Okay? And then I also have an image of how Eric creates his using Excel. He brainstorms a bunch of projects within categories that are essentially me, my family, and beyond, same thing I'm doing. And then he picks the top 8 projects to be current projects. So the brainstorm's all there, and then he pulls out 8 of them to be his current ones. While we have separate current projects lists each month, Eric's got his, I've got mine, we share them with each other so we can coordinate our efforts and give each other support. It's really important that you know what you are doing this month. And if you're in a family where other people are also working on projects, it's so awesome when you know, hey, I could be helpful here. I post my current projects on a chalkboard hanging in my office right now. So they're up and the whole family knows what I'm trying to get done that month. All right, if you are ready to take action, we have a 2-part assignment for you, okay? Part 1 of your assignment is to do a quick brainstorm or mind sweep of all the projects you'd like to accomplish. This is where you can list all 163. And then part 2, you're going to pick the top projects you would like to work on this month. Remember, it's about 7 or 8 maximum. So it can be just 1 or 2 projects if you'd like, or it could be 7 or 8, up to you how you want to do it. But don't panic. We always hear people say, well, how can I possibly choose just a few? Here's the answer that we give. Think of this like a game of dominoes. You can get to all of them eventually, but you want to start with the ones that will have the greatest effect on your life. They will help you build momentum. And then just think about it. If you don't narrow your choice, then you are by default most likely choosing 0 projects. We don't want to spin our wheels anymore. We want to have a tailored, focused list. It feels incredible. So you can pause the podcast here if you'd like, do that mind sweep, brainstorm all those projects, and then pick your top projects. It could be 1 or 2, it could be maybe up to 7 or 8, but I recommend having it be a super short list of those projects. The rest are next in line. Sound exciting? Okay, now let's move on to lesson number 2. Once you have 7 or 8 current projects on your list, well, what do you do with those? How do you keep from feeling overwhelmed? I have in the PDF an example from our household. It's a photo of our garage back in the home that we lived in a few years ago. And seriously, the house was small, there was no storage, and that garage was like crazy. So you can look at this picture and you're going to feel really good knowing that you're normal or being totally appalled by what we did with our garage. Now, I could go through and I could explain each and every part of that mess, like how our green carpet steamer broke 3 years prior, but I never tried to get it repaired. But I didn't want to throw it away because we paid money for it. And I thought, well, we can probably figure something out, which we never did. Or how we went camping as a family, but then we just kind of threw everything in the garage when we got back because it was really late at night and we were totally exhausted. And then we never got back to it. So there's like sleeping bags and chairs and everything kind of just thrown in. I mean, it's kind of funny as I'm looking at it now, I'm thinking, yeah, we just had a lot of stuff. Okay. But what's most important is what we did at that point as we had this really messy garage. So first step, we wrote, clean the garage on each of our current projects list. Eric and I were thinking, we're going to do this. We're going to do it together. This is a shared project. But second step, we identified our very next action. We did have to decide on that together. Now, a next action is the next specific, visible activity that will lead a project toward completion. That's from David Allen's book, Getting Things Done. When I learned how to identify next actions, oh my goodness, my life changed. It's one of the keys to learning how to get unstuck. So our next action was simply to have a calendaring session and pick a couple of days out of the month when we would prioritize the garage. Because honestly, there was never a day we woke up in the morning and said, hey, I think I feel like cleaning the garage today. How about you? Okay, maybe you do. We have to calendar it because honestly, oh man, it's just not typically fun. So, okay, sorry. I got a little distracted. All right, so once we picked those days, and it took like 5 minutes to do it, then we spent the whole afternoon cleaning things on that Saturday. And the garage ended up looking so much better. Now, here's the key to next actions. And if you learn this one skill, you will never procrastinate again. When you are identifying your next action, you need to boil it all the way down to the most basic step. If the next action you choose is actually a multi-step task or something that can't be done until another task is completed first, your brain will freeze and then you're going to say to yourself, oh, I'll just think about this later. But that project is still hanging out in your brain and is stressing you out, maybe without you even being aware of it. So instead, just stop for a moment, think about the most basic, that easiest no-brainer of a step that needs to happen in order to move your project forward, and you write that step down. Now, because this is such an important concept, I have a very simple download, little worksheet for you to actually practice. You're going to write down a few projects, and then you're going to write down what the next action is for each project. And you don't have to use our worksheet, but it's just going to show you, like, this is how you're going to do it on a piece of paper. So come to the PDF and we'll have that there for you. All right, ready for lesson number 3? We're now going to talk about how to organize your next actions in a way that will practically eliminate your stress. Most people's to-do lists include things like clean desk, backyard, email Rosie, plan vacation, eat more fruits and vegetables, exercise, get a snack for the preschool, check the airline miles, pay the bills, get a gift for mom, get ink for the printer, the weekly appointment with Jim. Okay, there's like all this stuff. Now, clearly, what's on the list changes day to day, but here are a few reasons why the setup is not optimal, all the things I just outlined. And again, come look at the PDF version if you want to see it, read it, be able to tell why it's actually not a great list. Now, most to-do lists include projects. The one I just explained, it does. Now, as we learned in lesson number 1, projects are multi-step tasks that can't typically be done in one sitting. So when you write something like plan vacation or backyard or clean desk on your to-do list, you most likely won't get those things done in one day. So you can't really check them off, and then you feel like you failed. Instead, those projects would go on your current projects list, or they would be waiting next in line if they didn't fit on your current projects list because you had more than 7 or 8 total. And then you would only have the next actions for each project you're working on that week written on your next actions list. Okay, another concept. Most to-do lists include routines. Routines are things that we do every day, week, month, etc., and we have dozens of them. So from that list I just explained, things like exercise, eat more fruits and vegetables, pay bills, attend that weekly appointment with Jim, those are all routines. Putting those routines directly onto our calendar or onto a routines and responsibilities list that we review every week is 1,000 times better. It will free up our lists so they can include only the next actions we need to accomplish that day. Now, I'm recording this on a Monday. I actually have, kind of a long list of things I need to do today, but everything on my list is a next action and it must be done today. And they're short, they're not super long, and it's reasonable given the time and energy and my schedule and things like that. But it makes such a difference when you have a very simple list of things that need to happen on that day. You're going to feel so good. Now, I don't know if you're interested in seeing it, but I've created a Google Doc of some of my own daily and weekly routines. So we'll have a link in the PDF. You can come check it out to see my routines. And this is actually one I created a few years ago. So it's a little bit historic, but you can check it out and see what kinds of things that I kept off my calendar and off my next actions list. And I just reviewed this routines list once a week during my weekly review. So go get the PDF in order to check on that. All right, another concept here. Most to-do lists are not specific. Because we want to get something off our mind and we want to stick it onto a list, we most often write tasks in general terms, and then we leave the specifics for later. But that causes us to procrastinate because we either haven't thought through the details or we're not sure where to locate the extra information we need. So for example, on the list that I read, a little earlier, it said gift for mom. Well, do you know what you want to get her? Have you compared prices? Have you talked with your siblings to see if anyone wants to go in on the gift with you? there may be 3 or 4 decisions associated with that task, which will cause you to procrastinate. Now, when I was putting this together, my mom was in the final stages of Alzheimer's. I was looking for a blanket or toy or activity board to give her or something to do during the day because she just needed something to do with her hands. So I was still comparing prices and exploring options, but I found this super cute stuffed dog that had little toys attached. It was darling. Okay, I have a little picture there. You can look at it. All right. Another item that we had on that to-do list was ink for printer. So when that's sitting on your to-do list, do you know what item number you need? Have you thought about how much ink you need to buy? Did you check your desk drawer where you thought you saw a few cartridges sitting last month? I mean, again, it might sound a little over the top, but until you answer those questions, that task will just sit and sit and sit on your list. Whenever I see a task that's been sitting on my list for a while, I look at it and say, is that really the next action? Is there something else that I really should do first? Because if you ever look at a task and it feels hard, it's typically because it's not the next action. And I could go way deep into this, but we're going to keep moving. Okay, next concept is that most to-do lists jumble up the contexts. We typically write our lists as part of a stream of consciousness activity. Like, okay, let me just get everything out of my head. But some things need to be done at home, and some may be in an office, or some while you're out running errands, etc. We used to spend so much time staring at our list during the day in an attempt to figure out what to do next, and that becomes exhausting. If you've ever done that, where you just keep opening your list and just looking at it over and over and over again until something sounds fun, you get it, right? So I'm going to share now your assignment for this part, which is the best solution that we found. Okay, so we have another 2-part assignment for you. Part 1 is you're going to write any calendar-specific tasks onto your calendar or a day-specific task list. I use Google Calendar to put my appointments or things that I'm going to do at a specific time, like clean the garage at this time, or I'm meeting with someone Wednesday afternoon, right? Those are my calendar. But any tasks that are going to be done that day that are flexible, I record on the left-hand side of my Franklin planner. I love having paper. I don't always want to be on my phone because I've got children and I want to be more accessible to my family. I just don't want my phone open all the time. And it's so easy to get distracted. So my Franklin planner, I have the 2 pages per day. On my left-hand side, I just write down those tasks that have to be done that day. And if I think of something, that has to be done Thursday, I open up my Franklin planner to Thursday, I write it down on the list. And if I ever notice that list getting super long, then that's when I reassess and I renegotiate and figure out how I can move some things around. Because my goal is that every day I wake up excited. I don't want to wake up feeling overwhelmed. And whenever you look at a really long list, your brain says, I'm overwhelmed. There's too much to do. We don't want you feeling like that, okay? So this is your assignment, part 1. You're going to take all those calendar-specific tasks, put them on your calendar or a day-specific task list like a planner. Make sure, though, they are one-step tasks or next actions that are boiled all the way down to the most basic steps possible. No projects belong on this list, just the very next actions that you need to get done. Then part 2, anything that needs to be done this week, but not on a specific day, will go on to your next actions list. It's a context-based next actions list. Again, I learned this from David Allen, who's amazing. And he suggests that you divide the list into the following 5 contexts. So you have home, phone, errands, to discuss, and computer. What is awesome about this is you will easily be able to work from whatever context you're in. If you're out running errands, you just open up and look at your errands list. It was awesome. The other day, Eric and I were out and he said, hey, anything else you needed to get? Now, prior to having my system, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't think so. And then we'd get home and then I'd remember. I'd be so mad. I'm like, you're right by that store and I forgot. Now, literally, if Eric says, hey, anything else you need to get while we're out, or can I pick up something for you? I just open up my planner, I look at my next actions list, and I can see, oh yeah, I actually have that one thing I needed. Or I might say, oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm going to do that one later. So much better. Now, If you are ever then like at home with your family, that's a great time to go work on things like yard work or plan vacation together, right? When you have time to make phone calls, you give the airline a call, check with your friend about working out together. You actually have time to make those phone calls because you're in that context. And then there's that to discuss. I love that because when I'm sitting down with Eric or we're about to go on a walk, I just quickly check my to discuss list. And then I can say, hey, I've been wanting to eat more vegetables. Can we talk about this? Eric actually doesn't like to talk about vegetables, but And we could even talk about like, oh, hey, here's an issue that we're having with this child. What can we do about that? It's so great to have this to discuss list. And we've even seen people in our community tailor this next actions list even more to meet their lives. Like I could have a list that says things to discuss with Eric while we're out walking, because we walk for like 45 minutes a day with our dog. Or I could say these are things to discuss with Eric when we're like in the office, okay? Because we might need to pull up the computer or look at the calendar or something like that. I want you to be able to tailor this to your life. We had someone who said, I do have a little part of my next actions list when my baby's asleep and one when my baby's awake and my husband's home. I mean, she's got it all organized. So you can tailor this, or let's say you travel a lot. You could say, oh, I'm going to do this part when I'm on an airplane. Love that, because then when you jump on the airplane, you have a little list of things you're going to do. I have a picture of a paper next actions list. You can check that out. It will be in the PDF that's there for you. Again, go to learndobecome.com/episode 80, and we're there for you. There's also a list example that Eric made inside Evernote. You can just check that, see how he did it there. So easy. There are lots of great apps, though, that other people use. Cozy works really well. To Do, Remember the Milk. You could even make this inside of Asana, ASANA. You can create little subcategories that have each of the contexts and then put the tasks under those. It's pretty amazing, right? So that's your assignment for lesson number 3. We've kind of given you a lot today. Lessons number 1, 2, and 3 with assignments embedded. If you paused, great. If you didn't, which I probably wouldn't have if I were listening, I'll just listen to the whole thing. Then come get the PDF, learndobecome.com/episode 80. We're going to have that there for you. You can read through it. You can take the assignments. Or if you're looking for more of a video class, come to learndobecome.com/step. You can sign up for our free training, How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles of Stuff. It's so much fun to have a system that works. I want you to be able to do this. And this isn't just me who's getting results. The testimonials are coming in every single day. Even just this morning, I received an email from someone saying, I think I'm your worst case scenario. And she explained all the things that were piled and feeling overwhelming. But she says, I've been listening to your podcast and I attended your free training and I came in and joined your STEP program. I finally have hope that I'm going to be able to get out of this and that I can feel free and I can feel excited. But then she said something else that really touched my heart. She said, as you've been talking about how you do this with your husband and how you plan together, I wish I'd been able to do this and had this information, 20, 30, 40 years ago. She ran a business with her husband, and she said, we never really had things coordinated. We weren't really on the same page, and he's passed away now, so I can't do that. But, it's okay. I'm going to move forward. And then she said, as you're teaching your children, oh, I wish I'd been able to teach my children. I just didn't know. And as I was listening to her say, I wish I'd had this information years ago. I'm just imagining how my life would have been so different. It really sparked in me the desire to say, okay, well, who needs it now? Who is it who's out there right now feeling overwhelmed, maybe in the middle of the journey or maybe just the beginning, where if I can stand up and use my voice and get over any fears or worries that I have in really standing up and getting out there, that I can help people today to be able to move forward, which is going to totally change the rest of their lives. If you are listening right now and you're thinking, that's me, I'm right in the middle of my journey, or I may be at the beginning, or I may be somewhere even towards the end, but I've still got life left that I want to live beautifully and I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I promise you 100%, You build this step command central. You learn how to get your mind calm. You follow along with what we're showing you here at Learn, Do, Become. And while we're not going to solve every problem in life, we're going to help your brain to know how to process it, know what to prioritize. And then we're also coordinating with some of the most amazing people out there who are cutting edge in neuroscience and habit development and exercise and family strengthening. We're excited about what we're creating here at Learn, Do, Become because it starts with some organization and starts with this command central. But then we get to move on to help you really connect with all of the amazing minds that are out there and to enable you to contribute your uniqueness to the world. You have had experiences. You have knowledge that you've earned. You have so many gifts that you can give to the world. And when you are drowning in clutter, it is nearly impossible to fully express those gifts because you're spending so much time feeling overwhelmed. My job, I feel like my assignment from God, is to help you not to feel overwhelmed. I know how to do that. My life isn't perfect. I have things I'm learning, things I'm still growing. I still have a lot to learn. I have a long way to go. But I wake up feeling calm, and my lists get checked off every day, and my projects get done every month, and we move forward in our family and in our business, and problems don't feel like problems. They're just projects. And we say, okay, Eric and I need to get on the same page here. We're struggling a little bit. Or, okay, this child needs a little more training. Let's make that into a project. Or, yeah, I'm noticing I'm not exercising as much as I'd like. Yeah, let's create a new routine. Or, yeah, I notice I'm feeling pretty anxious about this. Who's the coach I can speak with? I'm learning how to take all the hard stuff in life and then create a system that's going to help me to be able to move forward. I've been doing this for more than 10 years. The stuff I'm talking about right now, building this step command central. We've worked with hundreds of thousands of people. This is my mission. Like, we're ready to start moving and working with millions of people. So I want you to come download this PDF, go through these assignments we've just given you, sign up for a free class if you haven't come yet. We're going to help you stop drowning in those details. You're going to feel so good. And if you have friends that you're thinking, well, I bet they could use this too. I had a lot of friends who are overwhelmed. Bring them here. Share this episode with them. I want you to know there's a way out. So many people think, well, I just feel overwhelmed. Everyone feels overwhelmed. Everyone's anxious. Everyone's depressed. No, they're not. And if you're struggling with it right now, I believe that you deserve better. And I believe that there's a higher power who wants you to have a better experience and to enjoy your life. And whether you join our paid program or whether you take part in the free resources we offer, our goal is influence. Our goal is to help people. We're thrilled we can do it best inside our STEP program. And we've tried doing scholarships and giving it away free. And to be honest, people who get it free don't log in. We can actually see. So we do ask that you pay for it. You might need to save up for it. But come in, lifetime access. We're going to help you. And it's going to change your life. Okay, I'm going to close up now. LearnDoBecome.com/episode 80 is where you will come to get all the details we just talked about. We're thrilled for you. We're your friends. No stress. And I can't see you because I'm staring at a computer screen right now and looking at my microphone, but I know you're there. Okay, have a great day. We'll see you soon at LearnDoBecome.com.